You ever wonder what stories a single, ordinary day can tell? Well, today, we're going to find out. We're zooming in on just one day, Sunday, February 1st, 2026, in the small town of Hastings, Minnesota. Let's see what a snowy day can really show us. And wow, what an outfit it is. This line from our source, hastingsnow.com, just nails the scene, doesn't it? We're not just talking about cold weather here. We're talking about a whole town wrapped up in the true feeling of a Minnesota winter. You can almost feel that quiet, crisp air. So let's put ourselves right there for a second. Picture it. Snow gently falling over the Mississippi River, dusting everything in sight. For anyone actually in Hastings, the message is clear, right? It's one of those mornings where you just know you gotta slow down, leave a little early, and hope your tires are ready for it. And the morning reports get really specific. 19 degrees Fahrenheit, with light snow. At that temperature, as the source puts it, your nose is allowed to complain. Yeah, that's the kind of sharp cold that lets you know exactly who's in charge. Okay, so that's the vibe of the day. But a feeling is one thing. The data tells the real story. So let's break down the actual blueprint for this day. What's this classic winter outfit really made of? Well, first up, the high temperature for the day is only going to get to about 28 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a pretty big deal because it means whatever snow falls is definitely sticking around. And then after the sun goes down, that temperature is going to take a nosedive all the way down to around 11 degrees. We're talking a deep freeze, a genuinely cold winter night for everyone in Hastings. So how much snow are we actually talking about here? The forecast is calling for about 1 to 2 inches. It's not a full-blown blizzard, but it's definitely enough to completely change how things look and maybe mess with your travel plans. All right, let's pull it all together. You've got a high of 28, a low of 11, a 100% chance of snow that should wrap up around 4 in the afternoon. The wind's going to shift, and that wind chill early in the day, it's going to make it feel like 8 degrees. It all comes down to that perfect little summary at the bottom, snowy plus crisp. And this is what all those numbers really mean for actual people, right? Once that snow stops and the serious cold settles in for the night, you are left with perfect cocoa and a movie weather. It's the best part of a snow day, for sure. So naturally, there's some good old-fashioned practical advice. This isn't a day for fashion gloves, as they say. You're going to need the warm coat, the hat, and definitely some waterproof boots. And if you're getting in the car, just plan on it taking longer, and please, keep that ice scraper nearby. And to finish off the forecast, you gotta love a little local humor. Here it is. Today's forecast, snow before 4, then clouds, because even the sky knows when it's time to clock out. Not bad, right? A nice little touch before we switch gears. And here's where things get really interesting. Because let's be honest, a snowy day in Minnesota is, well, it's a Sunday. It happens. But February 1st isn't just another square on the calendar. It is packed with history. And that's where this whole story really opens up. Every single day carries these echoes from the past, and February 1st has some seriously fascinating ones. Let's dig in. Okay, get this. On this one date in history, 3 completely different but major things happened. In 1859, Victor Herbert, a true giant of American musical theater, was born. Then, in 1884, the very first volume of the Oxford English Dictionary hit the shelves. And just 2 years after that, in 1886, just a few miles up the road from Hastings, the very first Saint Paul Winter Carnival kicked off. So what do you do with 3 facts that seem totally random like that? Well, you start looking for the connections. You start to see how a single day on the calendar can hold the beginning of great art, massive knowledge, and a beloved community party. I mean, just look at this comparison. It's incredible. On one hand, you have this super local event, Minnesotans deciding to embrace the cold and turn it into a massive party. And on the other, you have this monumental global project setting out to document an entire language. Both are these amazing acts of creation born on the exact same day, just on completely different scales. So here's the point, right? Our snowy day in Hastings isn't just about the weather report. It shares its anniversary with the birth of a major artist, the launch of a pillar of human knowledge, and the start of a local tradition that literally celebrates the exact kind of weather happening outside. And all of that brings us to the big takeaway here, because this isn't really just about Hastings or even February 1st. It's about a way of looking at any day, in any place. This is really the heart of it all. The weather you're feeling right now, the stuff on your to-do list, that's your present moment. But the date on the calendar? Well, that's a time capsule. And it is packed with stories and events you might never have even known were connected to your day. And so that's the question we want to leave you with. As you go about your day, maybe just take a second to look beyond the forecast or your schedule. What kind of historical threads are woven into the fabric of today? What hidden stories does your day hold? Thanks for tuning in.